can try to do it, but if my head and my heart ain't into it, that's gonna be on the back burner. Now I'm gonna put what's important on the front.
Yeah.
Well, let me ask you this: Did anybody have the mindset of, well, I'm gonna try. I really want. I know I need to. Or was everybody just like, man, look, I'm out and I'm about to do me? Was it them?
I tried.
And I'm about to do it.
I tried on Sunday.
Right, like
I'll go on Sunday.
I would go to
church.
like the little Christian group, you know, on Sundays and stuff like that. But like that was kind of making myself feel better about like what I did that whole weekend. So it wasn't like genuine. Yeah.
I had to peek. I went on Sunday, and then sometimes I'll come home, and then bring people with me. I'm doing a good thing right there. But I thought, well, when you get into your schoolwork, your major, everything, your crazy schedule, it's just like I do not want to wake up that day to go talk to the Lord.
Right.
He know how I am. But for college, I just focused in on my studies, did what I had to do. Of whatever. Of course, they had some relationship that had to come up out of nowhere. But that, even through that has taught me a lot about myself and stuff like that. And even when COVID hit and I was still in school, that was the hardest time ever because I was at home I was a full-time student at home online and a full-time worker. And I just couldn't do that one right there. So it took a lot of discipline and frustrations and prayer and a whole lot of self-care days because I can try to do it, but if my head and my heart ain't into it, that's gonna be on the back burner. Now I'm gonna put what's important on the front.
Yeah, I think just the hardest part is just what type of relationship you have with God going into it. The various levels, like Erica said, she was Christian for a whole year. I know people who was Christian for a day. Went out there, the next day was like, man, this is fun. I'm loving it. I'm good. So it's kind of just based on relationship and just college schedules can definitely be very busy with school and waking up early and studying and stuff. But I guess like having like genuine time with like talking to God or spending time in your word would definitely probably help because a lot of times, like we said, we're coming from here. A lot of times we weren't really being genuine going to church, stuff like that, because it was so routine. So when we got to college, and you don't have that routine anymore, it's kind of like, man, do I really have a relationship with God? Or was I just going because my parents were telling me? Or was I just going because there's nothing else to do? And so I guess that's what you figure out when you're in college. And sometimes you get a better relationship with God or you lose it or you somewhere in between.
I was coming home every weekend.
Right,
and I still,
by myself.
We was like, we ready to go.
I was coming home every weekend because at first, my first semester, I was by myself in there. And I come from we're not a big family, but we loud and it's a lot going on. I couldn't take that quiet, especially not being in there over the weekend. So I was like, Mom, Dad, come get me. I'm gonna work and I'm gonna go to church and then I'll go back to school. But I was just like, even coming back every weekend, I still wasn't truly pursuing like a relationship with God. I feel like it's not necessarily always because you're in college. It's like a mindset and like a heart thing. Like I can be here every day and still really not want it if my mind and my heart isn't set on it. So yeah, I wouldn't say because I have no friends in college other than myself. It wasn't the people. It wasn't no peer pressure. It was me. I just didn't want it at the time.
What would y'all tell y'all 16-year-old self today?
Girl, slow down, sister.
Yes.
Life is not easy. Take your time.
Stop trying to keep up with the Joneses as far as like clothes or anything like that, but just like always wanted to kind of, oh man, I missed this. They was out here doing this or they was out here doing that. I'm just at home or something like that. Kind of just, it's probably better you was at home. Most of the people in high school, you look back at them now when you're grown, they doing the same stuff or they got a bunch of children and they can't take care of them or they dead. So it's kind of like, maybe it's good you wasn't out there, just kind of be content where you at. Understand that it's for your good, it's gonna work out for you.
I think that I would tell her that don't let society play a big part in your life, and especially I was in public school about around that time. And so you don't let, by going to church and going to public school, you don't let your peers at school that know that wasn't for the Lord or nothing, don't let them influence you so much to where you'll be like, well, I'm gonna just do this with them, and I still go to church, so it's like it'll even out. Like if I do this and I go to church, it'll cover that. So you just gotta stay strong with it. It might seem hard, it might even feel alone. Like it's gonna be alone sometimes, but God got you. He's always got you back.
Oh, my turn. I guess I would tell my 16-year-old self, like, all of your friendships and everybody that you're with at the time, they aren't necessarily forever. God put people in your life for a certain time, for a certain purpose, to teach you something. And so, like, don't hold tight to, because it could be just one person, like, you think that's my ace boom coon, like we gonna ride this thing out, right? Nah, that's not always it.
Right.
Yeah, because friendships are tricky.
For sure.
And they
Really
don't
tricky.
last.
I mean, some of them last if it's who God wants you to be friends with, if that's who
Right.
He wants you to have a lasting, long relationship with. But all of your friendships aren't gonna be like that.
Doesn't make them any less important. Just for that season, it might be really important for that season, right?
Paths.
Like, I gotta go this way. You go.
Right. And it's all love at the end of the day.
I tell myself, slow down, you're fine. Don't rush. Everything will come when it comes. Just be cool. And just stay out of your head. You could. Good things come when you wait. So that's what I got to myself.
Any last encouraging words to anyone that thinks about you?
And just keep your head up, keep pushing through whatever storm you're going through, whatever valley you in, like Pastor just talked about. And just you gotta grow in the valley. Just what your wife was talking about during praise and worship. You gotta grow in the valley. If you're not growing in the valley, when you get to that, if you get to that mountaintop, you may not appreciate it, or you may not be up there very long. So just grow in your valley.
Even if you can't find the one your age that you can talk to, it's always good to find someone older that has more wisdom and that even went through whatever situation you're going through, they always will have your back. Just express yourself. Don't hold anything back, because it's gonna eat you up inside.
Sometimes it's hard to think God is listening to you no matter how much you pray, because I struggle with that. Like, is He listening? Like, this stuff is still going on with me in my life. Like, where are you at? I need help. But it's okay, like, to not be okay. Like I said, it's okay to, even though you're talking to somebody, it's okay to cry. If you have to get up from a group of people and just go in the bathroom or cry somewhere else, just do that. And keep your faith in God, and stuff will work out for you. Like, do not leave God. He's all you need. And if you can't find nobody to talk to, if your friend, your close friend, not there, you always have God to talk to. He is listening.
That was good.
All right, let's clap it up.